a meeting on your own. Justice Maggot, would you like to, at least hold this, meeting and, step outside of it right now?
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of work, that's for sure, but, I mean.
Somebody needs to elect the chair. He's asking you to serve as temporary chair. Do y'all
I
make
will.
nominations?
That's temporary, I can say that for right now, but we'll
I'm
see what
on
it
the
does.
nomination with Mom Johnson.
There you go, wow.
She thought we were friends.
See you later. I think all you've done really well with the courthouse, and I know this is also gonna be that same thorough work that you have done, and I definitely, I will second.
Appreciate that.
If you accept it.
You're still serving chairman.
Okay.
You'll have to call for a
You'll
vote.
have some Christmas ratings.
Or
Yes.
other further nominations.
Do we have any further nominations? No. We've made a motion in a second. All in favor? Any opposed?
Well, thank you guys for the vote of confidence.
All right, you can take over this meeting. Is there anything else you'd like to accomplish today?
No, I do want to, I'll just stay here. I do think, I know we talked yesterday briefly about, a consultant, and I think that, like, there's several, she gave you several names of some consultants that, three. I would like for us to explore that. I think that would be most beneficial to us. And I think some of the surrounding counties hired consultants as well.
I don't know, she didn't say for sure on the conference call that, you know, who had and who had not, but she just said she was strongly recommending it. But we do have the names of the three people. They were not, we kinda had, we're talking about this the other day, you know, could a local firm do it, or, you know, we don't know, does it have to be the people that she maybe recommended, or?
You sure want somebody well versed in that.
That,
I don't know any
yeah.
local firms that.
Probably would be.
Yeah, and they have to be bonded, he's right, they have to be bonded.
And you made it, somebody made a statement yesterday about talking about writing the narrative to, you know, once we completed the project or on
She
the
did say
project.
they would do that.
Okay, so I mean, I feel like it would almost, I hate to compare them to like a grant writer, but if you had somebody that was doing it for several other, you know, they're gonna know what's being approved, what's not being approved, and they would be able to write that pretty quickly and know what's gonna happen. There may be somebody locally. Honestly, I wouldn't think so. I would think it's kind of a specialized.
Where are the three people now? Do you know where they're from now?
I know somebody who actually has experience, worked in Congress, worked for congressmen, so they would know the kind.
Didn't the lady, Tom, you spoke yesterday, didn't the lady suggest that we put out an RSP?
An RFP request for proposal, and then we can invite anybody that we want to.
Actually, we'll have to do
Yeah, you have to,
So I think that's your first step.
Yeah, I think so.
so is the committee going to, give us permission to do that? Gather the
I'll make a
info?
motion that you, to gather the what is it?
RFP.
RFP.
We'll run that in the, Democrat Gazette and statewide newspapers.
I believe the three firms that she mentioned were in Little Rock.
Okay,
I know BKD is.
and then if we know of anybody else, we can invite them also.
Is there, so, okay, we have a motion, is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay. Any, further discussion on giving the judge and Mr. Henry, permission to gather information, do the RFP, and potentially invite those three and anybody else that we see? Okay, all in favor?
Alright.
Any opposed? All right.
And then the RFP will have a date on it. I guess we'll set this for towards the end of January.
Okay. I believe there is
It's
a
just passed out.
model RFP that we've been given, we can look at and we'll try this out. We had another thing on the agenda that we wanted to mention about the senior citizen. You want to do that today or not?
We just wait.
Okay.
All right, well, if there's, well, I think that'll get us started. I do think Craighead County did hire a consultant for some reason. I don't know why I think that, but it seems like I remember hearing about that. We may just wanna ask and see who they use. That would be close enough to us, and so, anyway.
Can I give a little input? So that manual up there that we've provided begins with the 150 pages or whatever of the program. Then it's got some stuff behind it where it's like agencies that are giving tips or whatever about it. Then behind that is a chronological order of every update since like May from Lindsay Holman.
All of the updates.
Right. And so whatever at the beginning, when you go through that, whatever it says in March, don't assume that holds today. Okay?
Yeah.
Because it's changed. Me and Peggy and Kelly, whenever we've been, and the judge, we've been knee deep in this, so any questions it takes to get you guys kind of up to speed, we are a tool and resource to you. And just let us know what we need to do to help.
Keep in mind too that Mr. Henry and Peggy is also on Treasury's
The treasury portal.
portal, so we're not leaving you high and dry. It's just that the office has got so much to do that I'm afraid we wouldn't be as prompt as we should, but they will help you.
And then the revenue loss portion you'll see on that, the treasurer does that each year, and then she'll just tell you how much money, just like she
Okay,
did.
so is there, that is one other question I think we should, is there a line item in your department for the money? Where is the money currently? Is it,
The revenue loss or what?
yes, or is it,
There's two.
there's two funds, and they're both under you?
Yes.
Okay,
We've got $4 million.
they're in the budget under the treasurer?
They're under county general.
Okay,
So there's one line item, we received about $3.9 million. But then if you remember 2 months ago, we passed a resolution, maybe an appropriation ordinance, but we set up another line item on the revenue loss fund.
okay,
And according to the calculator, we are able to transfer 1.4 million from the first fund, 3.9, over to the revenue loss fund of 1.4. And that'll be done by the end of the year. And then we can do it again. And the biggest reason for making that transfer over is because the revenue loss fund, that second one, is a little looser than the first one that you're dealing with, a little bit. Still regulations, but a little looser. And,
We got the final rule on
so we
revenue
only
loss.
have
Did you?
3.9 at this point?
No, the way I understand it is we do have a final rule on it. In other words, it can be moved from the fund into county general.
yes,
And that is an interest-bearing fund of the original.
Yes.
When are they supposed to pay out? 'Cause it was about almost 8 million is what we're gonna receive, but we have only received the 3.9.
the original thing said within 12 months that we'd get the second payment.
Oh,
Within 12
okay.
months of the receipt of the first.
Okay, so that should be fairly close.
Probably by May.
Okay. And that's the.
I don't
so-
think you can spend it that fast, can you?
No, but I'm just trying to remind me. It seems like I thought we got it sooner than that, but, so how, and the revenue loss is it a 2-time deal or multiple years?
No, we can do it
Every
for
year?
20, and then we can do it for 21, and then we'll just have to see what the feds do from
Okay.
there.
Okay. Well, most definitely, again, I just feel like I feel like the consultant will be most beneficial and take a lot of work, and kind of a lot of the legwork off of.
Responsibility and liability.
Yes, I mean, you think about here in the courthouse, I mean, I don't know where
Make sure he's positive.
Yeah.
where we would have been without him.
very good. Yeah.
See,
So,
that's what I was asking about yesterday, Toby, if they're gonna charge us a percent, which is common, and
Right.
say we got $8 million and they're gonna charge us 5%, if they're charging us $8 million, that's $400,000.
Right,
But if we move $2.5 million of that out,
right.
5% of that would save us $100,000 in our fees, but I don't know if we can do that or wanna do that.
Well,
We may not
well,
want to do
I
that.
was thinking when you were talking about doing that, I thought that the revenue, whatever
Lost
it's called, was completely unencumbered. I didn't realize that it was still,
There's
had a
still
lot
some
of regulations
encumbrances
on
in
it.
there, Judge.
And
So we
they
may have to have the consultant to help spend that too, so we may not be
Yeah,
able to
we
say
might.
that.
And they may change the rules.
Yeah, you're exactly right.
And after we moved it into county general, if they change the rules, then it's subject to be paid back. So it may be like an insurance policy that you're using to, it's gonna cost you the one percent.
well, and honestly, you think about it, this could affect, the county in years,
Yes.
in years to come. We may not ever see it, but in, 6, 8, 10 years, when they finally get around to looking at everybody, that's when it could really affect us.
Yeah.
So I would feel much better about,
We don't wanna do it right.
Yeah.
We really wanna do it right.
yes, most definitely. So, okay, and again, if we're thinking about the health units, I think, with the consultant and moving that project forward a little, I think, yeah.
Get with the consultants first, see what they say, have them, let's pick a consultant first, I think.
I think so.
That would be best, and then we can
So-
decide what projects we want.
So they, so you do the RFP, can you tell us how that process works?
Well, mine's,
It's basically, it's just like an ad, it's like going through procurement laws. You put an ad in a statewide newspaper that says, we're requesting, submittals.
Request for services, yeah.
And so, what they'll do is they'll send their credentials saying that they're, in their bond,
Okay,
things like that. It says that we, are able, and then you'll ask them to come in for an interview. And then you can also ask, professionals outside the ones that responded to come as well for an interview. And then the boundaries are not near so tight about picking one. You can pick one based on whatever criteria.
Justice McDonald said he knows somebody that might be qualified and interested.
We need to get together first before we move them to ask them questions.
have said, I agree with you.
Yes.
Yeah,
Most definitely.
with the help of everybody else here, Judd and Peggy and Tom, some of the things that, what are the questions, what do we, need to look into?
Who do you apply? How much is it? Who's it with? Have you done this before? Are you familiar?
And then, are you involved in the integration? Not only that, verify the information they're giving us is accurate.
We'll try to come up with a list of questions. If you put that down too.
You just need to verify it, whoever we select, verify their stuff.
Well, okay. All right, then I will call it adjourned.
Guys, if y'all wanna look